Hey there, Will Marshall here. Here is my unboxing video of the new Microsoft Surface Go 2. New product. Microsoft just released it last week. The successor to the 2018 Surface Go original, the Surface Go 1. That was a well-received device, I think, in many areas. There were some aspects of its design and configuration that weren't quite up to scratch or weren't quite what people expected, but I think Microsoft have done quite a bit to address some of those issues with the first device in this new variant. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. It's the first Surface device for me for quite a long time actually. I owned a Surface Pro 1 back in 2014. That was my first Surface device, and I really liked it. I loved the portability of it. It was the first device I've been able to use that had pen input, stylus input for note taking. It was great, and the fact it was a tablet that you could use whilst on the couch, that sort of thing, for just browsing and doing just casual stuff. It was a great device, but I had it for a little while, and as you do in the tech world, things moved on. I haven't had a Surface since, so this is the first time I've owned a Surface since that Surface Pro 1. So I'm really looking forward to digging into it. So I guess without further ado, let's just take a look at the unboxing experience. So this is the device I've got. This is the slightly higher spec version. So the Surface Go 2 actually comes in a number of different configurations. The base model, starting at £399, is which that sort of price point is quite intriguing, right? You think about that, but that comes with an Intel Pentium Gold 4425Y processor, so it's a slight improvement over the one that shipped in the Surface Go 1 back in 2018. It comes with 64 gigabytes of storage and also 4 gigabytes of RAM. But the caveat to that is the storage. The 64 gig is the slightly slower eMMC storage, so you're going to have a bit of a performance hit there on that base level device. Step it up one more notch, you go to 529 quid. You get the same Intel Pentium Gold processor, but with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of SSD storage. And then finally, you get into this sort of range where you go to a Core M3, an Intel 8th Gen Core M3 processor. So a fairly significant, in relative terms, spec jump on the processor speed. And you also get 128 gig of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So this is what I've got here. This is the device set in front of me. I've got the LTE variant, which will set you back £719. There is a Wi-Fi only variant for £619, which I think is probably more suitable for most people. But yeah, this is kind of the device we have in hand. Let's go ahead and unbox. So take the lid off now. And there it is, right? So one of the major complaints I think with the first Surface Go many people had was this its massively thick front bezel. So it looked very dated, even in 2018. When you think about towards the end of that year, Apple released their first kind of bezel-less or slim bezel iPad Pro, which had a much more sleek and modern look to it. This came out, it was a bit of a laugh, really. They were just huge. However, as you can see with this new device, the bezels are significantly smaller, significantly reduced, and it doesn't look out of place, right, for 2020. The cameras support Windows Hello, so you've got an infrared camera and a front-facing selfie camera. The selfie camera is a 5 megapixel 1080p webcam, so that's also got to be a big bonus for the huge influx of Zoom calls I think we're all kind of making at the moment to keep in touch with friends and family and colleagues and whatnot. So that's really important there. And yeah, on the back you've got typical magnesium alloy chassis that Microsoft use, kind of staple of their service line over the last 3 or 4 years. The mirrored Microsoft logo and a rear-facing camera, which I believe is also 5 megapixel on the back. So now, just taking a look at what else you get in the box. In here is your charging brick. And then here is some documentation, and in my case I've got the SIM tool as well for unloading the SIM tray. But let's get rid of that, it's not massively important for now. But yeah, here you go. We talked a lot about the front sort of look of the device here, but port selection wise, you've got on the right hand edge, you've got your USB-C, single USB-C point, a headphone jack, which I guess great for 2020, and the proprietary Microsoft Surface connector here on that side. On the top you've got your power button here, volume rockers, and then on the opposite side, the left hand side, you've got the SIM card tray. Now, probably the most iconic part of any Surface line computer is its kickstand, this sort of signature patented kickstand, which obviously when I was using a Surface Pro 1, this only went out to one angle, it sort of went to here, and that's all you kind of got, which wasn't massively useful. But now, obviously, ever since I think the Surface Pro 3, you've had this much wider angle of use for your kickstand, which is really, really useful. Underneath here is also hidden a little micro USB card slot. So here you can expand your storage. I'm not entirely sure exactly up to what maximum, which is great when you think about, 1 to 8 gigabytes is maybe not that useful for a lot of people in this day and age. So being able to quite cheaply double that and then, and further is a real welcome addition for this device. That's kind of the Surface Go 2 itself. I've also got a couple of the accessories that go along with it, so I'll leave that just there for the time being. I bought a signature type cover to go with this in red. Massive fan of red tech accessories. Red's my colour. And yeah, I think if anyone's going to go out and buy a Surface Go, Surface Pro, this is like a staple device. You're really going to want to grab one of these to go along with your Surface device, to be able to really make the most of the productivity side of the computer. So this is it. Here it is, the Surface Go 2 type cover. So now just snap that into place there. So I guess again, immediately obvious when you take that out of the box is its quality. This is an Alcantara covered signature type cover, so you really can feel that when you handle the device compared to some of the other type covers on the market, especially some the horrible rubberized surface that Apple ships on its standard keyboard case for the iPad and the iPad Pro. It's a much nicer experience when you're holding that and using that Alcantara covered type cover. Okay, there is a cost to it, but this type cover here will set you back about £124 in the UK. So again, significantly cheaper actually than a lot of other first party type cover cases that ship with devices. So this is a backlit keyboard. You've got a full size keyboard here, and the key travel is pretty good. Physical keys. I mean, Surface devices have always been well known for how well built their keyboards are, and how well they've translated the traditional keyboard typing experience onto a slimline type cover sort of accessory, which I think many other companies have tried and failed to do. You've then got the a nice trackpad. Actually, it's a big size trackpad given the size of the device you've got going on here. It's a diving board, traditional diving board trackpad, so you can't click anywhere and get a click. You can't click at the top. You have to click down the bottom. So there you go. Yeah, it's a great. I mean, I say, and I haven't touched one of these. I haven't held a Surface type cover for a long time. So when I first bought my Surface Go back in 2014, I had a touch cover, a fabric touch cover on that. I did replace it with one of the early type covers that came with the Surface Pro 2. So that was quite good. But yeah, yards better than that is this new type cover here. So I'll just whack that on there. Okay, so the final accessory I've got to go with my Surface Go is the Microsoft Surface Pen. Again, I've picked one of these up in the poppy red finish because I love all things red. So for me, actually, the stylus is probably one of the most important parts of this kind of whole Surface package. I like jotting down notes kind of organically. I've always been keen on having a handwritten note solution on a device. That's kind of one of one of the things I would kind of prioritize over some other things, to be honest with you. So form factor wise, having that kind of that stylus experience is really important to me. So that's why I've gone for the pen. So the pen here costs £99 in the £100 in the UK, actually £99.99, which is not I think that's not kind of priced out of the market in terms of other first party styluses. Apple sells its first gen Apple Pencil for £89. It sells the new Apple Pencil, which goes on the two newer iPad Pro models for £120. So it's kind of sat in that. It's in that range, right? First party styluses are going to sit in that range. In the box, you have just got the pen and some fairly meager documentation. But the pen itself is nice. It's a nice weight. The fit and feel is fantastic. Sort of metal. It's kind of this aluminium metal finish. It's got a flat edge along one side, which is where it can magnetically attach to the Surface Go. It's got two buttons as well. It's got a little single button here, which works kind of in OneNote to sort of select text and things like that, and the other button on the other end, the tip button, which sort of doubles as an eraser as well. Really nice feature actually. That is in for OneNote especially. That can be clicked to open certain apps or double click to open more apps. You can configure that in the settings, so it's quite flexible there. And as I said, the pen doesn't magnetically attach to the top edge. So there you go. That's kind of your Surface Go package. First impressions wise, though, I think it's hard to deny. I mean, fit and feel it's an incredibly sturdy product, right? I mean, the Surface Pro line is known for its quality. The price kind of matches that, but this device here, even my maxed out one here, all of this together cost me, with the LTE variant, cost me £943. The LTE variant really is an added luxury, so take the £100 off that. You can get kind of this package performance wise with the same type cover in the pen for £850. That's okay. It's not cheap, but it's it's not you're not tipping yourself up into kind of like laptop, sort of good premium laptop quality over £1,000. In this package, when you buy the Surface type cover and the pen with it, it just all adds to that nice fit and feel. Microsoft do offer some great first-party accessories for this device, which is fantastic, really. Weight-wise, it feels fairly sturdy in the hand. I think one-handed use on the couch with this device is certainly not a problem for a lot of people. I think the form factor, this sort of 10-inch size, is kind of a sweet spot for a tablet. Personally, I think the 9.5, the 9.7-inch, the 10-inch iPads now, the 11-inch iPad Pro, I think are much kind of more in that bracket, which is where this sits. And I think that especially with these these slim down bezels now, it really does look. It really does look like an eye-catching device for 2020. Right, so that's kind of the end of this unboxing video. I hope you kind of like what you've seen. I'm going to try and use this week while I'm working. Try and use it as I would every day, and then check back in with you on a new video to give me some thoughts about how I feel it's gone, and my kind of overall take on the device. That's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed watching. If you like what you've seen, please hit subscribe. And also leave any questions you've got in the comments below, and I'll try and answer those as soon as I can. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Stay safe. Cheers.